What's up, everyone? Bitcoin is breaking out today, moving higher to $60,900. So, I wanted to discuss what's going on, what's moving the Bitcoin price higher, as well as what is going on in the S&P, and is gold getting ready to break out? And then I want to share with you three crypto assets that I am looking to buy to make a 5 to 10x in this bull market, including one degen play that is related to gaming and could possibly see a 20x. All right, guys, let's get started. So today, like I said, Bitcoin price is moving higher to 61,000 just as we are doing this live stream. Um, this is just crazy to me. So exciting. I had a dream a couple weeks ago. It's kind of crazy, but I told one of my friends that I've helped begin investing and getting into saving some money. He's a rather young guy, and I told him that I had this dream that back here when Bitcoin's price was around this $43,000 level, that this was going to move up in like three steps and go to somewhere around 58 to $60,000. I don't know why. Like I said, that was a couple weeks ago, and it's played almost out exactly to the T. Now, I've been an investor and trader for a long time, and sometimes you just get this gut feeling of when things may happen. And whenever you usually get that gut feeling, in my experience, it's been uh, a relatively good indicator of what's to come. So, but anyway, I want to move on to some technical analysis and some fundamentals on some of uh, things that are going on in the market, including gold and some other crypto assets. Starting here with the S&P. The S&P on the SPY is at 505. We're really in an overextended market here. I expect that this is going to see some sort of pullback, probably back down to this last resistance here at the last uh, top we saw back here in November 2021. That would bring us back down to around the $4,780 area. And but one other thing I noticed when I was looking at this chart is we're forming a bigger pattern here. And if you go back, this is going way back now to a time when um, these uh, these highs back here from '07, '08, and down to the '09 area, you see there's this bigger channel that's forming. And so right now we are staying within that channel. There's a couple times where we moved out of it, but in general, we are staying in this channel. And so I suspect that we will stay in that channel. If we do see some sort of bigger correction in the markets, we could go back down here somewhere and retest some of these lower areas, which might be around 42, 4,300 by the time we get there. But for now, it's all green. It's all good. Markets are still moving up. The S&P can move higher, up to maybe the 5,200 level. But for now, it is holding up. I don't know how long it's going to last. Normally, this time in the year, you see pullbacks, and we know with Bitcoin going into the halving, we typically see a pullback going into this time of year, but we have not really seen that yet. Another thing I wanted to mention is the yield rates. So here we have the 2-year yield. It's holding at 4.67%. Whenever this was down here, a lot of people were suspecting, I was suspecting, we probably would see a pullback. There was some resistance here and a retracement around to this area It could continue to move higher if the economy and the stock markets remain strong, but I really think that we're probably going to see this start to begin to roll over here. And if that does happen, that could drive markets higher. Um, but we still want to look for when this inverted yield curve uninverts. So that still may be some time out because typically when we see that, then we do see some sort of recession or correction in the markets. And so it's something to keep in mind when we're looking at these things. Uh, but for now, like I said, all green, all good. And gold is attempting to break out of this channel again, trying to break out of this $2,000 an ounce range. Um, a lot of commodities and metals are moving up, and so projections for gold could be in the $2,400 to $2,500 range, maybe in the next uh, 12 months or so, depending on what happens with the economy and the markets. If we do see some sort of recession, gold and Bitcoin are typically a flight to safety. And so we could see this spike up if we do see a bigger correction in markets. But right now, we're still holding around that $2,000 30 an ounce. Next, I wanted to talk about why Bitcoin is exploding to the upside and why no one was really expecting things to move so fast. And the first thing is yesterday Bitcoin ETFs purchased 9,163 Bitcoin in one day, and only 900 were produced by miners. So that's 10 times more bought than is available or being produced by the miners. And so it's supply and demand. Whenever you see stuff like this, whenever there's so much more supply, it drives that price up. And so it's just amazing how much institutional buying is going on right now. This is the first time that a lot of older Americans or older people and wealthier people have access to Bitcoin or want to deal with having access to Bitcoin. And so the price just keeps going up. And it's projected that a lot of people will probably, and a lot of these ETFs, that aren't strictly Bitcoin ETFs will hold 1 to 2% just for the upside. And over the last 2 years, if you had an all cash portfolio and 2% Bitcoin, you would still be outperforming the S&P. So that takes us into the halving cycle and where we are at now. The halving is approaching. It's only about 50 some days away. And right now, we are approaching that halving. And as we go into these halving cycles, then you start to see that real parabolic bull run take off. And I don't know how high it's going to go. I don't really like to make predictions. I've got my assumptions and I like to be conservative on how far things could go, because you really just never know. But there's some pretty amazing projections out there. I'm thinking that we probably see conservatively maybe $120,000 Bitcoin to the 150K range. Uh, but we could see maybe 200, 250. Some people were calling for much higher. If it got anywhere over that, I would probably be getting out depending on what, or begin taking profit depending on what is going on in the markets at those time. Um, it's it's just hard to say, but we'll have to see as that plays out. So, what three crypto assets am I looking to buy? Well, the first one is a stock, and that is Riot Platforms. And as you can see here, we are making a series of higher lows and attempting to break out of this resistance right here at $16.50, call it. And so this is a Bitcoin miner. I did some more research on this company last night, and this company is a database storage and crypto miner, and I didn't realize that this company's been around since 2003. So from what I see, they are originally into data storage and computer stuff like that, but now they've got into crypto mining, and as Bitcoin's prices rise, uh, these miners will be making more profit, and so then this stock should rise. The next area of resistance I would see would be somewhere right around this $20 area. But then after that, you're really looking more at this 22 to $25 area. So a substantial increase there. And if we zoom out a little bit and look back at what happened during the last bull run, we see that this got all the way up to $70, and it's right now at $16. So this really has the potential to do uh, possibly a 5x, just get back around to those all-time highs and then possibly higher. And, like I said, I did more research on this last night, and so here are some of the predictions for 2025 and 2030 on Riot. And as you can see here, in 2025, um, Coin Codex is predicting a $48 Bitcoin by 2028 at $1,200. Sorry, $1,200 Riot stock price, um, and in 2030 possibly up to $10,000. Now that seems way over optimistic in my opinion, but I definitely could see this rising up to maybe around that $100 level here and sometime in the next couple years. And also just the revenue growth estimates for Riot are right now is currently sitting at 455 million for 2024 and moving up to 729 million in 2025. A couple other crypto assets I'm taking a look at have to do with the gaming narrative. AI has been super hot in the stock market. As we know, NVIDIA and a lot of these big tech companies have really made a lot of gains off that. And so, really, when it comes to swing trading, it's a lot about the narratives that are playing out given, you know, the macro and economic data, but also these narratives of where the future of technology or a certain industry or sector is going. And gaming is going to be big for crypto. And so the first one I'm looking at is Avalanche. Um, Avalanche has some good games on it. It looks like a lot of developers are moving to their blockchain for some of these games. And right now, Avalanche is setting at resistance right around $15. Um, if this breaks out, the next level resistance could be that $20 range, maybe up to $22 range. So there's a lot of potential upside here. And if we zoom out a little bit more, we can go up to these previous all-time highs. It's $32. So it's a 2x just to get back to its previous all-time highs. And from what I've seen on a lot of these uh, bigger altcoins, is you typically see about a 5 to 10x higher than the previous cycle, as long as these companies are still building, still expanding, and providing real use cases in the real world. So there's a lot of potential here. AVAX could go much higher than $32, but that's something we will have to watch out for. But again, it's starting to break out. So if we break out past this point and don't come back down below, then I really see a lot of upside potential on AVAX. And another coin I wanted to mention has to do with gaming. This is a degen play in my book by some crypto people. This is not even degen, which is crazy to me, but it is Gala Games. And I bought Gala uh, back down here when it started breaking out of this lower trend. As you can see, again, we're making higher lows here, and we have just broke resistance at the 36-cent level. Um, so we shot up to around 41 cents yesterday, and it's coming back down. I'd look for this to retest somewhere in this 36 to 37-cent area and see if this bounces. If we start moving higher, I would be looking to accumulate or buy this. Again, this is a degen play in my book, so it's a very small percentage of my portfolio, but it has huge upside potential. And just to see what that really looks like, if we zoom out here to the last cycle, what that topped out at, it was around 80 cents, and right now we're setting around 3.8 cents. So a lot of upside potential. Um, just could be massive gains. I really think once we break out of this uh, upper range here, then we will see some more upside movement. Again, it depends on everything else that's going in the market. This, could lose half of its value and fall back down here if the market crashes. So you want to watch out for that. But I think there's potential here as we see this Bitcoin bull market just really getting started. Bitcoin could move a lot faster than projected because there is so much buying going on right now. And really, some people are saying this could be a super cycle. We could see new all-time highs possibly next week. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen, but it could. Um, but we may see this Bitcoin cycle move faster than any other cycle previous, and it could top out earlier. It could top out really within the next year. Um, if you look at the most of the halving cycles, it typically aligns with topping out towards the end of 2025, like the August to November 2025. But it just seems like the way things are running right now, you could possibly see this top out in a year's time for now. So right now is the time to really focus if you're into trading or if you do want to make some gains and look for pullbacks and get entries. Like I said, I'm a spot trader, so I'm just looking to pick up good spot opportunities. I got a couple very small leverage positions over in AVEX Pro, um, but really the majority of what I'm looking at is in my IRAs, and that's why I use I Trust Capital, where you can buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, AVEX, Gala Games. You can buy a lot of these other altcoins here, as well as gold and silver in case there is a correction. Um, but yeah, they've been great. They've had great customer service. They were super responsive whenever I was setting this up, and so I recommend using them if you want to open an IRA. There is a link down in the description below. So if that's something you're interested in, you can use it there. Um, you can also use a couple other things such as a Coinbase account or or decks such as Apex Pro. There's links to all of mine down there in the description below. And also remember to be safe out there, guys. You know, do your proper research and analysis on these things, and whenever you're clicking through these websites, really be safe out there. Don't click any of these pop-ups and schemes that seem too good to be true, because that just does not exist. And if you want, get yourself a VPN. I just set mine up. Again, a link down below. But yeah, be safe out there, guys. I hope you enjoyed this content. And if there's anything else you want to learn or see, drop a comment down below. Let me know. And be sure to hit that like button while you're out there. And I will see you next time. All right, guys. I hope you have a great day.